Hi there, it's Sarah from Standing Up to Scoliosis again, and Scolio Temple. I'm just going to do, I just want to do part 2 of the nervous system and trauma and how it connects to scoliosis, because I realised I watched my video back of part 1 and I realised that I was mainly only talking about low tone muscles, like the areas that have been damaged and had the normal like nervous system and memory sort of connection cut off. So this is like the low tone parts of scoliosis, and the bits that are like over compressed, like they've been damaged, you know, crushed, had bleeding, inflammation, all this sort of thing, cut off nervous system. And the reason I focus mainly on that is because that is the main problem. That's like the main issue that's happened first, like the root. And you have to like support and like accommodate and connect back the root to like then get new growth. But obviously what I failed to mention is the opposite side, which is equally as important when you're dealing with therapy. The over tense, like overactive, overfiring, like the nervous, like sympathetic nervous system overacting constantly. So so yeah, obviously with scoliosis we have this dual yin yang thing of like shutdown, you know, like over tiredness, low tone, floppy, like constant healing, rest and digest happening in the parasympathetic. And then we have over sympathetic, like over lengthening, over tensing, gripping on, like working so hard all the time to hold us upright from the bits that have been floppy and damaged inside and over compressed and squashed. So it's like totally a dual thing. And like obviously as a therapist, if you're going to work with someone, first you want to like support the bit that was damaged. You want to hold the root issue, support that first, and try and connect back the strength to the bits that are not active. So there have been studies with scoliosis. There's a lot of controversy I see about which muscle is stronger, the convex side or the concave side. And like most of the studies are at like where they hook up the electrical impulse machine to the muscles, and which like muscles are firing and which are not. And in a curve, like a curve that's convex to the right, concave to the left, like the most common scoliosis curve, you know, they have found that it is the right side that is over dominant and over firing, the convex side. And most people, they are right-handed, they're overusing their right side in general anyway. So I have heard some people saying, oh, but it's the left side that is like the stronger side because it's shortened, you know, it's the one that's pulling. And I'm like, okay, first of all, both sides are weak, okay? Both sides are they're not functioning correctly. So both muscles are weak, okay? They're low tone and high tone. That's what we learn, you know, in a physiotherapy degree. So like some of the muscles on the convex side that are overfiring, they are lengthened and weak because they're not in alignment. But they are hypertonic, you know, they are high tone. And the opposite side that is squashed and shortened is usually, you know, it's low tone because it's collapsing the whole body weight. It's not holding and supporting the spine up. So I'm sorry, but that is the side that is weaker with regards to fast neurological muscle innervation. It is tight in the myofascia. This is where you need to understand that the conscious nervous system and the tension that you're doing in exercise is different from the myofascial system. And the bones are more connected to the myofascial system than the nervous system, because the bones grow in the womb with the fluid, the energy, the compression and the fascia before the nerves and muscles grow out of the spine. So what you're having in scoliosis is compression in the bones and the fascia and shortening of these muscles here, because they're being like, there's tension in the fascia because there's like compression, fluid is building up, and there are studies showing myofascia contracts. Like if you're having swelling and bleeding, it's gonna like grip on because it doesn't want you to bleed out. You know, it's literally a defense, like a reflex defense mechanism. It's totally unconscious. This is the shortened side of a scoliosis, and that, you know, and then that can build up to myofibroblast and eventually fibrosis, like scar tissue, like, because it's out of balance. The more, you know, but I would say, because that is squashing on that side, is the other side the studies are showing are having the hyper innervation of firing muscles on this other side that is lengthened and over tension and gripping on and like firing. So, and this, so with, when you're dealing with therapy, you want to deal actually with both sides. And I would talk to, you know, you want to deal with the root side first. You have to make sure someone's rooted from the bottom, like held and supported first. But then, because this side has been overactive for so long, it can be damaged. Then it can be damaged as well. So it started off, it was like the hero. It was like rescuing the side that was compressed. And it was like, yes, I'm holding you back up again, even though it's twisted, you know. But then that can get damaged from being overused. So, and then you can get locked tight muscles, lots of pain, like, so, because you're aware of that bit, because that wasn't the bit with the serious damage that was done, you know. And you're like having constant, so yes, you do need to calm the overactive, you know, over lengthened, over tensioned nervous system down as well. And often that gets wound up. It's highly wound up. It's highly strong, you know. And this is what's happening in a scoliosis. When, you know, our body forms in spirals. It forms in tubes and spirals. It folds and unfolds. This is how we grow in the womb. So when we have injury, you know, we have this like damage, like, and it's like a downward spiral. Then we're having like an upward spiral that is like overactive and are wound up, you know, stressed out, wound up, over tense. So you do want to learn to, you need to do therapy techniques to calm. Actually, I would say you actually need to deal with the over tight side first. So I was talking about the weak side, the root issue first in my first video, because when you do deal, so you have to start from the most recent trauma. So you're going to be dealing with the tight side, relaxing someone first in reality. But that tight side is never going to relax if you don't hold and support the weak, damaged side first. So with a scoliosis, yes, start from the outside in, the most recent injuries, you know, but you've got to support. You have to be supported from the bottom and held first with whatever you're doing to be able to unwind this tight, over tight sympathetic nervous system. And sometimes, because it's become so tight and pulled out so far, sometimes actually just relaxing that and calming that down actually can bring someone over to centre more. And then they can actually realise that, oh, this past injury where I got weak and cut off, actually, oh, I actually can connect back now. That's like actually healed enough. That damage was done a long time ago. Oh, I'm all right. So you can actually get results working both ways. You can, you know, you can work to connect back and strengthen this root damaged side from the bottom, you know, or you can calm down, unwind the over tight side and allow the yin part to connect back. So you're working with both yin and yang all the time in scoliosis. And yeah, I'm like, sorry I didn't like talk through the whole thing in my past video, because I was like, I was kind of thinking like, I guess I was thinking like this more obvious and common knowledge that someone's like got an overactive sympathetic nervous system, they're wound up, stressed out. I thought that was kind of like more obvious. But I suppose nothing is obvious to someone maybe who hasn't studied any like neuroscience or therapeutic stuff. So yeah, definitely scoliosis is dealing with both things, compression and tension. stimulating nerves to connect back, but also calming and unwinding overactive nerves. And yeah, it is a bit of a complex thing, but you just want to find the overall pattern of how the whole thing contorts and spirals down, and where it is overactive and over lengthened and compensating, and you want to like draw that down and push and strengthen that back up. But it's not easy. Scoliosis is a really complex condition. It's not easy at all. And gaining back that feeling and proprioception, you know, is the first step to feeling. Because if you can't feel and proprioceptive what's going on during an exercise or therapy, like body working, massage, sort of hands-on session, ultimately it's probably not doing a lot. Like, someone might be doing all the right moves, teaching you all the right exercises, you know, they might look like they're like doing like great massage techniques, they know loads of exercises, they've been told help with this type of curve, but if they can't intuitively tune into exactly what's going on with your nervous system personally, then you're not going to get results. If you're not feeling it happen, it's not happening at the end of the day. I mean, it is happening in reality. You're doing the moves, but like what I'm saying is you can repeat exercises over and over again and get nowhere with your scoliosis and helping improve the pain and the condition and correcting the postural, you know, deviation. You literally, I mean, I did so much training before I went specialist into scoliosis, like of different dance styles. I did like running, I did all sorts. I was like swimming miles, I was like running kilometers, I was walking up and down mountains. I was like pushing my body to extremes. Like, so I was like, I need to strengthen it. I need to find an exercise that's going to help my scoliosis. I need to, you know, I was doing so many different dance styles. I did professional dance. I trained in all loads of different styles, like all contemporary, ballet, tap, jazz, like, you know, I did salsa, I did hip hop, street dance, I did Lindy hop, like swing dance type, you know, stuff. I've even done like belly dance, flamenco, like I've done loads of Irish dance, like folk Celtic dance. Like, honestly, you can go and do so many different exercises, and you can have someone just do like set massage techniques that they've learned in a, you know, on a course. But unless you get exactly the right position for you and your nervous system, unless that therapist can listen to your body and exactly what's going on, or you can learn to listen to it in yourself. But yeah, obviously, like I've said before, it's hard to instantly just tune in to yourself, because obviously your body is like cut off and it wants, like, you know, it's harder to just find it for yourself. But you know, you can explore. You can, if you know what equipment to use to hold and support you, for your body to be able to relax, you can do quite a bit on yourself. But definitely, yeah, definitely it helps to have a really good therapist. So yeah, I hope I've explained this like sort of more yang side to the nervous system to counteract the first video's yin side. I'm just trying to think if there's any other important like nervous system stuff. So I was talking a bit about memory actually, and like us like losing the memory like and connection when we have the trauma. So there is some research on liquid crystals, like water crystals holding memory in the body as well, which is often brought up in therapeutic research. So yeah, the memory stuff is very interesting to, so like when we cut off, like we've forgotten, but usually during a therapy session, when something is working and you're connecting that person back to the bit that's cut off, usually they remember the trauma and injury that they were cut off and forgotten before. So they might say, oh, I had a, like, I've even, this is going to sound horrible, I've even had feelings of where they cut through me in surgery during, you know, body working sessions, where I've been like, oh yeah, oh, that's where they cut there, that's how they moved my arm during the surgery. That you can start to feel it. Your memory is held in your body, So that's another interesting thing. And it seems to go with the flow of the fluid. So again, the only way to really get back in your body and feel is to follow this flow, this fluid flow in your body, the flow of the fascia. But you want to balance this sort of yin, like fluidy flow, and connecting back with the yang, the tension, and the neural firing. So yeah, it's important to not get too yin and too somatic-y, contemporary, into the body, too relaxed, you can go too far that way, because a lot of traditional exercise and physiotherapy, a lot of it is more yang, it's more tension exercise. You have a lot of Pilates in physiotherapy, and just giving people exercises, but they do some hands-on, mobs on joints, but everything is very precise, and prescribed, just do exactly this mob on this joint. None of it is really tuning into the flow of someone's fluid and energy. And but yeah, don't go too far into that sort of stuff. Make sure you're balanced and you're understanding neurologically that you're trying to connect back as well. You're not just trying to feel and embody all the time. Because like I said, you can fall into that pitfall I see people do, where they're so keen to embody and connect back, and not be disassociated, that they just you see sometimes people do some strange things, they're oh, I'm feeling this, I'm shaking, and they're doing all sorts of stuff to try and feel. And yeah, I think you can take it a bit too far. I think let's sort of stay held and safe and gentle with what we're doing. And yeah, okay, I think I'm always ending up talking too much and not demonstrating enough. So yeah, these videos and slides is just about general nervous system stuff and trauma and fascia. And then, excitingly, yay, we're going to go on to specific nerve receptors and actually demonstrate techniques that work on each different types of nerve receptors. So I am going to get there. I'm going to demonstrate techniques. Sometimes I do sort of show a little exercise to sort of explain what I'm talking about, but I just think it's important people understand, the real science and theory of what's going on before, embarking on working on yourself therapeutically. Because as I said, you can just keep doing lots of things, trying things, and not actually really getting somewhere, not really getting to the root, the part that's actually causing the issue. But yeah, luckily there's lots of research and lots of people. I mean, some people are just naturally good at this anyway, intuitive therapists who do massage and exercise. So you can just be lucky, but it is good to maybe find someone that's more aware about the new research in the myofascia and the nervous system. But yeah, definitely go with your intuition on what therapist you go and see. Some people can have had, you can get people who've had maybe no real formal training, but they super good with their hands, super intuitive and natural anyway. So I don't know. Look, I'm not this is not about saying, oh, pick a therapist who knows loads, who studied loads, or not. I just want people to understand science behind things and be educated and all this. So yeah, okay, over and out. Have a lovely weekend. It's a beautiful sunny day here in the UK. Yeah, bye.